The sound her phone made when it shattered, I still hear it. It wasn't just glass breaking, it was my daughter's face, collapsing in front of everyone. And the worst part? My own sister smiled when she did it. My name is Lila Carter, and before I tell you what happened next, I need to ask you something. Have you ever trusted someone with your whole heart, only to realize they were waiting for the perfect moment to humiliate you? Because that's exactly what she did, and she picked my daughter's 16th birthday to do it. The party was perfect, not expensive, not flashy, just meaningful. Fairy lights across the backyard, a homemade cake, her favorite songs playing softly through a speaker we borrowed from a neighbor, and my daughter, Emma. She looked like she finally felt seen. 16. She'd been counting down for months, not for gifts, not for attention, just for one night where she could feel like she mattered. Because growing up, she didn't always get that. Especially around my family. My sister Vanessa, she had a way of making everything about her. Always had. Growing up, she got the bigger room, the better clothes, the louder praise, and when we became adults, nothing changed. Except now, instead of competing with me, she started competing with my daughter. Little comments at first. Oh, that dress is cute. I used to wear things like that when I was younger. Or, 16 already? Wow. Time flies when you don't have responsibilities. Backhanded, subtle, but sharp. I noticed. Emma noticed too, but we stayed quiet. Because family, right? That's what I told myself. That was my first mistake. The night of the party, Vanessa showed up late. Of course she did. Dramatic entrance, heels clicking, loud laugh, perfume that announced her before she even spoke, and in her hand, a gift box, wrapped perfectly. Too perfectly. I should have known. Emma's face lit up anyway, because she still believed people meant well. She hugged her aunt, said thank you, sat down in front of everyone and started opening it, slowly, carefully, like it mattered. Inside was an iPhone, brand new, still sealed. And for a second, everything stopped. Emma looked at me like she couldn't believe it. Mom, is this real? I smiled. Even I was surprised. Vanessa smirked. Oh, go on, turn it on. Emma did, hands shaking. The screen lit up, and then Vanessa reached forward, snatched it out of her hands, and smashed it on the ground, hard, once, twice, 3 times. The screen cracked instantly. Gasps filled the backyard. Someone dropped a drink. Emma froze. She didn't cry, not yet. She just stared, like her brain hadn't caught up with what just happened. And then Vanessa said something I will never forget. Maybe now you'll learn not to act so spoiled. Silence. Complete silence. My daughter's birthday. Her moment. Destroyed in seconds. I stepped forward, slow, controlled, because something inside me had already shifted. What are you doing? I asked. Calm. Too calm. Vanessa turned to me like I was the problem. She needs discipline, Lila. You're raising her to think she deserves everything. Emma's lip trembled. And that's when I saw it. Not anger, not embarrassment. Something worse. She felt ashamed for being hurt, and that broke something in me. But before I could say anything else, Vanessa pulled out her phone and dialed, right there, in front of everyone. Yes, hello, I need to report a situation. A minor just got aggressive and destroyed property. I feel unsafe. My heart dropped. She looked straight at Emma and pointed. The cops showed up within minutes, lights flashing, neighbors watching, guests whispering, and somehow, Vanessa had already rewritten the story. She attacked me, she said. She grabbed the phone and smashed it when I told her to be careful. I looked at the officers, then at my daughter, standing there, shaking, speechless. And I realized something in that moment. If I reacted emotionally, we would lose. So I didn't. I took a breath, stepped back, and said nothing. That confused Vanessa. Good. Because while she was performing, I was remembering. Every angle of the yard, every guest, every phone in the air, recording. And I knew something she didn't. This generation records everything. The officer looked at Emma. Did you damage the phone? She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. She was too overwhelmed, too humiliated. Vanessa crossed her arms, satisfied. But I just reached into my pocket, pulled out my phone, and said quietly, "Actually, I think we should watch something first." I turned the screen toward the officer. A video, sent to me seconds earlier, from one of Emma's friends. Clear, perfect angle. Vanessa handing the phone, smiling, waiting, then grabbing it, and smashing it herself, not once, but 3 times. The officer's expression changed immediately. He watched it again, slower, then looked up at Vanessa. "Ma'am, would you like to explain this?" For the first time that night. She didn't have a script. That's not... It's taken out of context. Another phone appeared, then another. 3 different videos, 3 different angles, all showing the same thing. The truth doesn't panic, lies do. And Vanessa was unraveling fast. The whispers started, then the stares, then the shift. Suddenly, she wasn't the victim anymore. She was the spectacle. The officer straightened. "Ma'am, filing a false report is a serious offense." Her face went pale, and for the first time in her life, she had no control. Emma stepped closer to me, still shaking, but now, she wasn't alone. Vanessa tried to laugh it off. "You know how kids are. They twist things." "Enough," the officer said, firm, cold, final, and just like that. The performance ended, but I wasn't done. Because this wasn't just about a phone. This was years of entitlement, of disrespect, of thinking she could walk into our lives and tear things apart without consequences. So I did something she never expected. I stayed calm, even then, even when I had every reason not to. "Officer," I said, "I'd like to press charges for property destruction and emotional distress." Vanessa snapped her head toward me. "You wouldn't dare." I looked her dead in the eyes. I already did. Because while she was busy creating chaos, I had already called my lawyer, minutes after the incident, quietly, efficiently, prepared. That's the thing about being underestimated. People never see you coming. The case didn't take long. Video evidence, witnesses, her own call to the police. It all worked against her. She had to pay for the damages, publicly apologize, and the charge stayed on her record. But that wasn't the real consequence. The real consequence was what she lost. Family stopped inviting her. Friends distanced themselves. Because people can tolerate arrogance, but not cruelty exposed. Emma got a new phone, better one, but that wasn't what mattered. A week later, I found her sitting on her bed, quiet, scrolling. "You okay?" I asked. She nodded, then paused. "Mom, why didn't you yell at her?" I sat beside her, took her hand, and said something I wish someone had told me years ago. "Because calm people win louder." She thought about that, then smiled. Small, but real. And in that moment, I knew something had changed, not just for her, for me too. I spent years tolerating behavior like that, calling it family, calling it normal, but protecting your peace and protecting your child sometimes means drawing a line so clear, people can't pretend they didn't see it. So if you're watching this, and you've ever been told to stay quiet to keep the peace, remember this: peace built on silence isn't peace. It's permission. And the moment you stop giving it, everything changes.